Hey guys, it's Hallie and Lauren. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to talk to you about areas to avoid if you're moving to the Denver metro.
Yeah, or maybe just really dig into, watch out for.
Yeah, really, you know
Take
what?
note.
A lot of people live in these areas and there
yeah.
are some benefits, but you probably really want to do your research to make sure that it's the right place for you.
Definitely. We are licensed real estate agents in the state of Colorado. Please feel free to reach out to us. To our number or email listed below.
Yep.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Yes. So the number one area that you want to maybe avoid, or really, okay, this one really because I live like right there.
Yeah.
And I know people who live right there. It's
Yeah.
a great location.
Yes.
But the Friendly Hills neighborhood, which is technically in Morrison.
Right.
But right on the border of like Littleton and kind of Lakewood.
Yeah, right on the cusp.
Yes. And the reason for this, it's notorious for foundation problems.
Yes.
The houses that were built there, most of them are like tri-level, bi-level style. They're built late 70s, early 80s. And the closer you are to the mountains,
Right.
the more prone you are for foundation problems because the soil just has more water in it. You know, anywhere closer to the mountains,
Right.
you're gonna have these problems.
Right.
But this neighborhood in particular, I don't know if it was because of, you know, how they were building houses back in the 80s, has a lot to do with it.
Right.
They've really improved, you know, building and backfill and dirt and how they do
Yes.
that now. But back in the 80s, they didn't.
Right.
So I am not kidding. Probably every single house in this area, in this particular neighborhood, has foundation problems.
Right. Or had.
Foundation problems.
Yes.
Now, you can fix your foundation.
Oh, yes.
For sure. You can re-anchor piers. There's a thing called mud jacking. There's all kinds of ways that you can fix your foundation.
Can be remedied.
It can be. It's just very, very costly.
Yes.
It's a very costly thing. It is not covered by your homeowner's insurance.
Nope.
So know that. And we're talking, you know, a 5 to 6 figure fix.
Yes.
If depending.
Right.
So it's just something to look out for. And again, a lot of homes in this neighborhood, the foundations have already been fixed. So it's good.
Yes.
But the houses, you know, like my ex-boyfriend's house, his house leaned.
Yeah.
Like really leaned.
Yeah. You can walk into some houses and you will walk in and you will just feel the floor do this. Like you suddenly.
Ball would roll quickly.
Yeah.
But he had already had the foundation fixed. He had paid for it years ago to have it fixed. So the house was, you know, the structure was secure, but it was always going to have that slight tilt now.
Right.
And we walked into a lot of other homes that you can tell.
Yes.
So it's a price you pay for, you know, living right there by the mountains.
Right. And we get very harsh weather here. So when our soil contracts and moves, it's because our
expands
ground
and
is
contracts,
freezing
yes.
and then it thaws
Yeah.
and then we get really warm summers and it just causes the bentonite within the soil to shift and move.
There's a ton of reasons for it.
Yes, and so it's
but-
not a problem if it's been fixed. So the only reason we bring this to your attention is if you are a new home buyer.
Yes, I'm not a home inspector. We're not engineers.
No.
But I can point out from a mile away if there have been foundation issues, will be foundation issues,
Right.
what's a big deal and what's not.
Right.
And then you want to make sure that you not only get a home inspector in there
Yes.
in these homes, you want a structural engineer
Yes.
to come out and give your opinion.
Yep.
Do not take the advice of a home inspector. They're not, home inspectors are not engineers. They don't know. Okay. If you're buying a home in this neighborhood, a structural engineer is
Yep.
absolutely
Yep.
needed to make sure that buying a home
Yes.
that's secure and that you're not going to have to dump tens of thousands of dollars
Right.
into.
Right. Know before you buy.
Yeah, that's our one thing. The Friendly Hills is just because the home's built during that time. But you also need to be aware of this. This can happen really anywhere along the
It
front
can.
range.
It can. This is just a particular area where it's very
where
noticeable.
it's-
but
yeah.
it can happen in many
Yes.
places. So
Yep.
it is something
So,
to look out for.
Yeah, the closer you are to the mountains, the more prone to these things are. So
Yes.
any home really west of Kipling, you need to
Yeah.
be on the lookout for these things.
But a very affordable neighborhood if you want that
It
close
is.
proximity to the foothills and be on the west side of Denver. So the
Yes.
west side of I-25.
Yes.
Homes in there, gosh, are going around 600,000, like
Not
somewhere
even,
in there.
there's one just listed
Yeah.
for 500.
Oh, there you
2,000
go.
square feet.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
So-
see, super affordable. Just bring an expert, have someone in there to make sure you're not buying something that is going to cost you a lot of money down the road to fix.
All right, number 2, the second area. Now, this is really probably our opinion.
Yes.
But, okay, thousands of people live here, so don't get mad, okay? It's a great area. However, the Roxborough, Sterling Ranch area, which is south, and even like south of Littleton.
Yes.
Now, it's beautiful there, and there's some very high-end homes.
Oh, yes.
And there's a ton of new construction. New homes are being built out there.
Oh, yeah.
However,
With new builds going in, with new construction, you always have to know that there is going to be more congestion, more traffic that comes along with that. And something special with Sterling Ranch, there is a one road in, one road out ordeal.
well, and yeah, so Sterling Ranch is east, and then Roxborough's
Right.
west. And there's one road going, the Wadsworth goes in and out to Roxborough, and Santa Fe goes in and out to Sterling Ranch. And they
Right.
are connected back in the back.
Yeah.
But to get on the other side, to get to C470, the main highways,
Right.
you have one highway in and out. And because there is so much new construction,
Yes.
so many more new homes. I mean,
Yes.
we're talking tens of thousands of new
Yep.
homes have been built there
Yep.
in the last 5 to 10 years. And they have not built the highway infrastructure to really meet the demand of all those people living out there.
Right.
So it's very congested on those two in and out ways. And then you only have one grocery store back there. And it's always busy.
Yep.
It's a Safeway. It's
Yep.
not a King Soopers. Everyone loves King Soopers
Right
here.
And from Sterling Ranch, you're looking easily at it.
Yes.
With good weather and no traffic, it's still like an 8-minute drive.
It is.
And that's
It
in
is.
good weather with no
Yeah.
traffic. That's where the gas station is. That's where your closest liquor store is.
That's where the
There's
post
a
office
preschool
is.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a ways. Like there is a distance to amenities when you live in these
that's the other
communities.
thing. Like it's suburban, but it's not suburban like Littleton or Centennial or Westminster or most of the other suburbs. It's
Right.
like rural suburban.
Yeah.
Because there are a few restaurants and grocery stores, like we said. But if you want to go like bars,
Yeah.
more kind of
gym, Lifetime,
like yeah, a
24
real.
hour.
If you want a real gym, anything like that is going to be 20 plus minutes
Yes.
to get to.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And you have your choice in there. There is an elementary school back there, but if you want your kids to go to a specific elementary school and you have to think of that traffic and then the distance it takes to get to whatever school you're trying to go to, you really got a budget for that time if you're going to live in some of these areas. So something to consider.
Again, it's beautiful, and actually
Stunning.
homes in Roxborough. Roxborough's older, Sterling
Yes.
Ranch is new, but Roxborough's older. You get a little more bang for your buck, and you're still on the west side of town. So it does have its positives, but the commute really does get to people. In fact, my very first clients, some of my good friends,
Yeah.
first house I sold was in Roxborough.
Oh, there you go.
And I told them when they moved there, I was like, "Are you guys sure about this commute?"
Yeah, it's
They
hard.
both work downtown. They're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we love the house. Like it was the best house for their money that they could buy at
Right.
the time." But now 6 years later, they're like, "Yeah, the commute is really
It's rough.
a lot.
It's rough.
It is."
We get some very bad snowstorms, ice on the road, then you add in traffic with that, and it's
Right.
not a great time.
And the other thing out there is there was some debate with water rights, and this changes all the time.
Yes,
So
it's
look
constantly
into
ebb and
it more. But there was some debate with the water rights out there, and your water bill is astronomically more expensive
Yes.
than other places in the Denver metro area.
Right. You are charged a water fee every single month, even if you don't use
Yes.
it as well. You go out of the country for a month, you're still
$100
going to
for
pay.
water.
Yep.
Your usage is charged on top of that.
Right.
And Sterling, not Roxborough, but Sterling Ranch, because it's all new builds, you also have a metro district, So that means your property taxes are much higher than other areas.
That is correct.
But again, tons of people are moving out there. And you know what? The one thing is, probably if you were to buy a house out there today, in 10 years, it would probably really appreciate very fast.
Oh, yeah.
Because in 10 years, when they're done building all the infrastructure and more amenities and things like that, home prices will go up. But right now, there's some growing pains.
Definitely. But a beautiful place to live.
It is. Oh, and one more thing. There's a lot of snakes out there. There really is.
The wild life.
No. Well, I don't know. I don't like snakes.
Oh, I don't either.
I'd rather take a bear. Like a bear, you can see coming.
Yeah.
But the rattlesnake, they hide.
Same.
And you know, I've heard there's a ton of them out there in that area.
Well,
That's
you
just
are
like
in
their-
between, like
their habitat.
Yeah. When you are in Roxborough and Sterling Ranch, you are surrounded by state parks. Roxborough State Park, Chatfield State Park. There's
Right.
so much open space, so it's not surprising that there is a lot of
Yeah.
snakes.
It's not really like heavily forest. It's like a field.
Yes.
It's more
Yes.
field, rolling hills,
Yeah.
rocks kind of thing. So it's just like their natural habitat. And I'm telling you, there's way more snakes out there than there is like over here in Littleton. So you got to be very diligent.
So if that is not your jam,
Or just be aware.
or just be aware.
Be aware. Like, you know, you're like, unfortunately, you know, dogs have been bitten.
Yeah.
And they're in your
Yes.
yard.
Yeah. Don't leave your
And
shoes
it's
just sitting out front.
Yeah,
Something
it's just
can-
something you need to be more aware of if you live in that area.
Good tip.
That's all for now.
And our last one, number 3, Commerce City.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about location of Commerce City and why there's some things to look out for there?
Now, Commerce City is actually a really large area. If you look on the map, it looks like this little tiny area, which is actually more the area that we are talking about.
Yeah.
Because the Reunion area, even though it's all Commerce City, like if you Google Commerce City, it's all Commerce City addresses. But the Reunion area, which is the north area, it doesn't have these same traffic problems Old Commerce City has. So Old Commerce City, you're right there in this little triangle. You're north of I-70. You have I-270 that kind of goes like this. And those traffic is always terrible. Always. No matter what. No matter what time of day, no matter what day of the week, it's terrible. That section of I-70 going east or west,
Always.
backed up traffic. And I think they're done with the construction.
I think they are
They were
too.
doing construction for a long time.
And it's still
and
just
it's still
backed
just
up.
traffic all the time.
Yep.
And I-270, traffic all the time.
All the time.
And then you're close to I-25, I mean, it's just terrible to get anywhere.
Yeah.
It is really.
You got to budget so much time to go anywhere. And what we think is very interesting about Commerce City is there isn't a lot to do there. Like there's not a lot of activity.
Yes.
So for there
Yes.
being so much congestion, you would think that there would be a lot that people are like either going there to see or
Right.
nearby. So it's just interesting that it's just always so flooded with traffic.
Well, and the other thing is like there's a lot of homes there.
Yes.
There's a lot of homes
Yes.
and neighborhoods, but it's surrounded by a lot of industrial spaces, a lot of factories,
Yes.
warehouses, that kind of thing. And there's not nearly as many, like, it's not, I wouldn't call it walkable really, even though
No.
it's very urban and it's very close to downtown, but you don't have the walkability there that you have in like the Highlands or Sunnyside or downtown Denver. Like the shopping, bars, restaurants, coffee shops, that kind of thing is on the other side of I-70, and it's not walkable. There's not as many activities and things to do. But it's like, you know, it's living in the urbanness without a lot of the benefits of living
Yes.
urban.
very good way to say it. It makes sense though. It makes it right.
Yeah. But, you know, on the other side of it, it is very centrally located. It's close to the airport.
Yes.
It's close to the airport. And, I mean, there's a lot of character. There's a lot of, you know, older homes on there. So they're on bigger lots, and there's not HOAs really up there. So you can, you know, kind of do whatever you want, which is nice. But just our opinion.
Yep.
And so,
Absolutely.
You know, give you the nitty gritty.
Yeah, so those are just kind of certain areas that just our time and living here, we're natives, and we've just kind of seen that while all have definite positive, you know, components to each area, there are some things to watch out for and some things that a lot of people might
Yeah, we're just
consider a
giving you
negative.
other things to like think about. So like if these, you know, like I know traffic makes my blood boil. I don't have patience for it. I can't handle it. So I know that living in these areas would really take a damper on my happiness.
Yes.
So
Me with
if you're
young
like
kids,
me,
I want close proximity to amenities. don't want to be sitting in the car. So, personal preference.
But no matter where you want to live, we would love to help you if you're moving to Colorado. So please give us a call, send us an email, and we'll hear from you soon.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye.